Okay, well, we're about to start watching the next lot of films in our Studio Ghibli marathon. But before we do that, we thought it would be a good idea to kind of go over the 5 films we watched in the first half, and also just kind of, I guess, I'd like to talk about how my experience with anime is developing.
Yep.
I mean, I kind of want to ask you, this is out of left field, you didn't know this question was coming, so I'll put you on the spot. What is it that you think attracts you to anime, specifically?
That's a hard question. I think the fact... Well, first, it's not live action, so you can do a lot of different things.
Okay.
The style attracts me. For some reason, I just like the look of anime. I think 'cause you get a lot of stuff that isn't in live action as well. Like, if you look at Elfenlight, for example, which you've seen the first half of the first episode, you don't really find that in live action films. A lot of stuff like slice of life animes you don't find in live action. There's just a lot of stuff that you can't find in other kind of things that you can find in anime. So that's probably it.
And that's true. And I think that interesting. You talked about the animation, but you also talked about sort of story elements, like because that sort of thing. Like you've showed me bits from different series. I've seen some I've seen some other anime type from this. And not only do you not see it in live action, but you also don't see it in Western animation.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not just the animation, it's not just the story, but it's a combination of both, you think?
Yeah, I reckon.
Alright, so that's interesting. How I'm coming at it now is that I love all movies, basically. And I love the old Disney catalogue. I'm absolutely in love with the films of Pixar, as anyone who reads my site knows. I guess the reason that I've never been an anime fan up till now is because of, I guess, the perception
of anime.
The general perception of anime.
It's all schoolgirls and tentacles.
It's either kind of weird, really weird, fantastical stuff, which is interesting because that's what we saw in a couple of the earlier films we watched, like Nausicaa and Laputa. It had a lot of that stuff, and I was kind of wary of that. But, I have come to appreciate that, and I think that one of the things I've enjoyed about the anime films we've watched so far, and specifically Laputa and Nausicaa, are those elements, are the kind of the interesting and very unique worlds that I've never seen created in any other type of film.
Well, possibly Avatar now, but
we talked about that. But even that, there is just a kind of a different feel to this that you don't
there certainly is.
see. And one of the things that I liked about Avatar, the James Cameron film, that I've also liked about the earlier Miyazaki films, is that they do create this very rich universe that is so unique. So, of the 5 films that we've watched, despite me saying that I've enjoyed the world, the one I've enjoyed by far the most, or maybe not by far, but definitely the most, is Isao Takahata's Grave of the Fireflies, which is the only film that hasn't had any mystical elements. It's the only film set in, a world we can recognise, although it's the past. I mean, I think that the reason I've enjoyed that film, though, is not because it didn't have those elements. Simply
because it was a drama?
I thought the storytelling was better. I thought the animation was more impressive, and I just thought the script was better, which is, I know it wasn't Miyazaki, and I'm going to get in trouble for that.
Animation would concern you more because you've only kind of seen these things. It doesn't concern me because I've seen things like the original Macross, which was an 80s, like early 80s anime, and the animation is god-awful. So I can get over things like that. So that might be why you prefer the animation than that, not sure.
That's true. But again, we've already talked about this, and I don't want to talk too much about Firefly specifically, but it's not just the quality of the animation, but it's actually what is being animated. So you look at the animation in Fireflies as opposed to Kiki's Delivery Service, the quality of the drawings
that's completely fair.
Really inferior in Kiki, but what you're actually seeing just isn't as engaging,
that's completely fair enough.
It's not as attractive.
That's completely fair.
So, I think that currently, of the 5 films we've watched, I would rank them Grave of the Fireflies, then a little bit below that I would have Laputa, just because I thought that was probably the most entertaining adventure. Then below that I have Nausicaa, which, I had my problems with Nausicaa, but I really appreciated the world it created. Then I'd say quite a bit below that I have Totoro, which I did enjoy, but it's a bit slow and it's a bit weird. And then
Kiki, which we aren't really discussing.
We've already kind of talked about Kiki. So, how do you rank the film so far?
Mine's slightly different. I have Nausicaa at the top, Still one of my favourite films. Doubt it'll be changing anytime soon. Then I have Fireflies, which, even after only seeing it once, I think I will have to go back, revisit it, probably watch it in English once or twice, Japanese a few more times. Then Laputa. It's a good film. I like it. Not much else to say. Not too much below as Totoro.
Yeah.
I really didn't mind the slowness of it.
Yeah.
And it was just an enjoyable film to watch. I mean, it was fun, and I love that in films. And then, of course, Kiki. Which, yeah.
And just on the point of, like, Totoro, I know we've... Of these 5 films, we've basically agreed on our opinions. Like, we rank them differently, but we both...
We agree on
our top 3 are both the same, and we both really enjoyed that. We both have a really great appreciation for Fireflies.
And we both hate Kiki.
And we both really hated Kiki. Totoro is probably the film that we've been the most kind of...
So far, yeah.
Different on,
yeah.
and I think... I mean, I don't know why. Is there anything...
I think it's because I don't mind slow movies. Because if you look at Moon...
Oh, well, that's true.
I loved Moon.
But I mean,
I liked it more than you.
We've discussed Moon before.
Not New Moon, just Moon.
The science fiction film, not the
that's
the
good.
film.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's not that I dislike slow films. I guess. I mean, I don't know. I probably would need to watch Totoro again to explain why, but I'm probably not going to.
Probably not going to.
Of the films that we've watched, I said, I did enjoy Nausicaa, I did enjoy Laputa, and I even enjoyed Totoro. But I can say that the only one I would be tempted to own, or really be tempted to revisit of my own volition, would be Fireflies. Like, if you were over and was like, hey, you want to watch Laputa? I'd be like, yeah, sure. Or you want to watch Nausicaa? Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you're not going to own them.
I'm not going to own them. I'm probably not going to go, oh, I remember that. I'll rent that.
Whereas I'm probably even going to end up buying Kiki just so I have the whole collection.
Yeah.
However much it irks me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably it.
I think another reason we see them differently is because we both watch movies differently. Because you're much more concerned about things like plot flow, things like that. I'm very much, am I enjoying it?
That's true.
If I enjoy a movie, I don't care how bad the plot was. Probably why I like Avatar so much. Because it looked awesome, it was great
Avatar,
fun.
But yeah.
The plot was shocking, but I don't particularly care. Probably why I also like Iron Man over Dark Knight.
We can't have this conversation, we'll go for too long.
Anyway.
The other thing that I just thought of now that I think would be interesting, Justin, just talk about... If we could just talk about progression in the 5 films that we've watched. I think that the quality of animation has been pretty steady improvement, although it was...
Except for Kiki. But that's probably just because the subject matter. Probably.
I think it's also interesting to look at of the Miyazaki films. It's a bit hard to compare Fireflies because it was a different director, a different writer. But I definitely think the 4 Miyazaki films we've watched, they've gotten progressively more family-oriented, progressively more, I suppose you could say, mainstream.
I suppose so, yeah.
Like, from a Western perspective, you look at Nausicaa, like, Nausicaa's weird. I like Nausicaa, but it's got a lot of weird elements.
It is, yeah.
Then you go Laputa, it still has a lot of that fantasy.
But slightly less.
But it's, the main characters are children. It's certainly something you can identify more as a family film.
Yeah. Then Totoro, very large departure.
But it still has more of a...
Yeah, like the spirits and all that.
Yeah, exactly. And then finally you have Kiki, which is
a
straight up
it's Western
kids film.
Yeah.
And I wonder, they were all 80s, and it's not as if Miyazaki had reached the West at that point, but I definitely feel that it seems like he's trying to be more commercial in his films. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad film.
I suppose
I don't think it's bad, although it does sound bad because I have also said that I have liked basically his films less and less and less as we go on.
That's true.
But it sort of struck me that he's trying to make films that are going to appeal to a wider market.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I suppose I agree. I mean, I think he goes in a loop almost because I haven't seen Ponyo yet. Not sure yet. But he does kind of come back to the themes of...
It's interesting because I have seen Spirited Away. I saw it before I saw any of these films. And that is definitely... I guess maybe it's more comparable to Totoro than any other
It's kind
ones.
of in between Totoro and...
But it's certainly more... I think a more mature film, a more expressive film, a film that has more to say than, say, Kiki.
Yeah,
but we've probably bashed Kiki enough.
I think we should stop.
I think we're probably done here. Anyway, we hope you've enjoyed listening to the previous ones, and
hope you
we've
keep
got
on
another,
listening.
6 films to go?
Something like that, yeah.
Alright, so talk to you soon.